Kaguta Museveni, colleague ministers, senior officers of the justices of the courts of the High Court and Court of Appeal, and all of you big people here. Your Excellency, this is not my day. I'm an invitee, and I'm also eager to listen to you, to your wisdom. But I have about 3 things I would want to say, and don't excuse me for winning. We have a problem with welfare. I bleed when I see police officers who are working at Ginger Road sleeping in Mukono, and they must come to work on time and then go back on their meager salaries. There is need for housing the police, the prison, and the Directorate of Immigration. That would have been solved if we didn't have people who think within the box in the Ministry of Finance. They don't want to think outside the box, or if the box becomes difficult, remove the box. But that's not your job, Your Excellency. I handle it with my colleague, Mr. Kasaija. Fortunately, he's one of my predecessors. He should know that there is a need for adequate housing for these agencies. Allow me to thank IGP Tom Magambo. I was here recently, and when they told me you were coming to visit this place, I just said, now. Because this place was very rugged. And, you know, when I came here, he told me, you know, there was a need for, and of course the pocket was empty. So I went with my heart beating and said, now what do I tell this young man? The place was bad, to be sincere. But Tom, with the police authority, police leadership, I thank you for making this place livable together with your. And you remember I promised you to increase the manpower, CID. Your Excellency, CID is understaffed. Well, the resources willing, we shall see what to do. We have not forgotten, we shall see what to do. Then, Tom, what you've forgotten to do is, I remember I asked you the reconstruction of the CID. I don't want to blame the past leaders of the police, but I think when handling the CID, quite a few mistakes were made, and together with the Inspector General, talked to him. We should reconstitute the CID to make the CID equal to its job. The criminals they have reduced, but they have become more sophisticated. There is you know, Your Excellency, remember I had a quarrel with these gentlemen of the Law Council when they were saying we should examine the people before they go to LDC. My question was, you don't teach cyber crime, cyber law, you don't teach forensic law, you don't teach sports law, you don't teach maritime law, you don't teach, do you need these judges and these lawyers? When you put a pre-entry, those who didn't study these things and did them abroad are at a disadvantage. And yet we need these people. Similarly, the CID ought to be educated in these disciplines. We need CID officers who are conversant with cybercrime, who are conversant and competent with maritime law, with the oil and gas, with the etc. So, Your Excellency, there is need for adequate training for CID officers, reshaping and adequate training for CID officers. Finally, we have this problem of the existential threat to national integrity and development, corruption. I find it a bit difficult that it's only you blowing the clarion call to fight corruption when the rest of us in leadership are a bit silent. I think I call my political leaders to stand up, and we support the president in fighting against corruption. Let's talk. We may not change the match, but let's also talk. And as for you, the CID officers and prosecutors, as you know, I have led both groups, and I know what happens down there. I'm not here to spoil the wedding. But I beg of you to do internal search and have a perpetual recitation of mea culpa. That's what will solve your reputation and cause the advancement of our society. With those few words, may I take this single honor to invite you to address the gathering.
The Honorable Ministers, the Inspector General of Police, and other police leaders, other leaders of agencies, and members of the CID. I used to be here near Kibuli, actually on this hill here. I did not remember that the CID headquarters was nearby, because I was busy breaking the law of that time. There was a slum here, I don't know whether it's still there, where one of our people called Abbas Chibazo, the Sabawejere, the head of this ghetto, what you call ghetto now. He was staying there. And I used to come from Tanzania and stay with him there, just near here. That was the last time. The other time I came to see Mzee Prince Badru Kakunguru. Lawyers and so on. That's you study Abodo's idea of handling them off grid, directing the villages. You study it. Now, finally, the issue of bail. Because this issue of bail, if the case is ready for trial, I think is really a big mistake. I can understand if the case is not yet ready for bail, after 6 months, you can think of bail. But if the case is ready for trial, why do you not try it and finish it? Especially if it is the case of murder or corruption, like in the case of these politicians, or rape or treason. Why do you concentrate on, even for the accused? I would want to say, you try me quickly and I prove my innocence. Why do you want to prolong it? So I think the Attorney General should see how to help us on the issue of bail. The Chief Justice, through Chief Justice's instruction, had clarified that applying for bail is a right. You can apply. But granting bail is not a right. It is a decision by the judge, taking into account the circumstances. So those judges who are just giving bail because it's not a right. It's not a right because yes, the accused has rights, but the victims also have rights. You cannot say that the rights of the accused are the only rights in the Constitution. Because be careful with these Africans. Africans still believe in the law of Moses. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. This is their justice. This one of Jesus, loving your enemies, that's a new idea. That you should love your enemies. Jesus was a revolutionary. This is a new idea. So, if you want peace with the Africans, please want full accountability. Justice Abodo here can tell you how the situation in Karamoja had become peaceful for 10 years. Totally peaceful. The army had disarmed all these people. Then the army started making their own mistakes. Some officers started stealing the money of the Karamojong LDUs. They would, instead of paying them, they would steal the money. So the Karamojong LDUs, local defense units, started getting disgruntled. And you know the Karamojong. They don't have enough patience to say, let's go and follow. The one who did not get paid, I will go and pay myself by raiding. That's how the raiding came back. Then there was one man called Achuchu. This Achuchu had done something and been taken to jail for 10 years. He had his wife. When he was in jail for 10 years, somebody married his wife. So when he came out of jail, he says, okay, you married my wife, then give me the cows. Then they ignored him, Achuchu. They ignored him. He went to Kenya, rented a gun. You know guns can be rented. He went to Kenya, rented a gun from the Turkana, went and organized the raid to get cows, and took them to Kenya, and he brought back the gun to he said, here is your gun, may I have got my cows. So that's how the raiding started. So when Achuchu raided the GA, then the GA now raided back the Masenu. So you can see it was all caused by our people. Thinking that because they have power, they can do whatever they want. With the African groups, be very careful. Make sure that you do justice clearly. Don't remain with any debt of blood or anything. So if you live here, please, you better listen to this. If you live in other parts of the world, then you can. But here, Africans want full accountability. This was the mistake of UPC. UPC were stupid people. I remember in 1966, when Obote abrogated the Constitution, we were in the school at Ntari, in the dormitory, and we were listening to Obote's speech. I have led this country with clean hands and a clean head. I am not a thief. I have abolished the Constitution. So we said, how can somebody abolish our Constitution? How? Abolish our Constitution. Then the UPC boys said, what will you do? What will you do? What shall we do? That's how the whole chaos started. Very, very easy to avoid. So please, with the Africans, don't. That's why the Banyankore are very clever people. When lightning, like this lightning in the sky makes a flash, you know, Banyankore, we are scientists. they understood that light is faster than sound. Because you see the light, of course, what they did not know, I will tell you what they did not know. Now, when the lightning kumiasa in the sky, the Munyankore says, Gambira heguru, tikaria kamkaga na kamhara. You stay there in the skies, don't hit me, because I have